Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm super excited to introduce this individual to you. He has a wealth of experience that I know you'd be very interested in knowing about. Today, I'll be introducing you to Mr. Eric Lah-Anyane, who is an expert in supply chain and logistics management. He has worked in a varied number of industries, such as the telecommunications industry, petroleum, and then he's currently in the agric industry. Um, he's also an electrical engineer who has moved from engineering to logistics and supply chain. So I know you'd get to know more about him and you get to understand his journey and pick up some points or tidbits from how his journey has gone so far in his career. Without much ado, I'm just going to welcome Eric and then let him do a brief introduction of himself and then let us also get to know him more a little bit better. Okay, so my audience meets Eric. Eric meets my audience.
Hello to everyone.
Hi, Eric. Thank you so much once again for joining this coming onto our platform, right? So just a quick ritual that we have on the channel. We sent out a survey to our target audience, and we had a number of them come back with feedback that we don't trust the information that we get on the internet. So in order to make sure that we know that you are telling us the truth, we let you take a pledge before we start the interview. So please raise up your hand and repeat after me. I promise to say the truth,
I promise to say the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you so much. I think now we've put our audience at ease that Eric is going to tell us the whole truth. Okay, so I'm going to start. Just one quick fact about Eric. He's a twin. So it's just for your information. He's two in one. Okay, cool. So we're just going to start with the interview. I know you all came here to listen to what Eric has to say. So Eric, I'm going to start off with your childhood. How was your childhood? Just want to get a brief background about how you grew up so that we get a better understanding of who you are as a person.
Okay, thank you very much, Fafa. Okay, so my childhood, as you said, I'm a twin. So I grew up with my twin brother, and I have other siblings, but I actually grew up with my twin brother. And I stayed with my mom and my grandparents. So in terms of my being raised up was between my mom and my grandparents. Yeah. Um, I was lucky enough to gain admission to Presbyterian Boys Secondary School for my senior high school. I really wanted to do science, but I didn't make the grade. So my grandfather said that they had introduced a new course, agric science, which they allow the students to do physics, chemistry, elective maths, and one agric course. So I found that it was good. So I can still get to fulfill my science dream. So I pursued it. So from PSEC, I went to Kwame University of Science and Technology to read electrical engineering. That was in 2001. And I graduated in 2005 with BSc electrical engineering honors. I was very fortunate to then gain be employed by a company in the shipping industry as management training, where I was put on the engineering management training. So I learned everything to do about engineering management, not engineering itself, engineering management, how to manage engineers, the rules and all that stuff. So I spent a bit of 2 years with them, and I was moved to one of their subsidiaries to put what I've learned into practice. So yeah. So after a while, I wanted to teach something else, So I moved from shipping, that's maritime, into telco, and at telco, that's where the supply chain and logistics began. But I took a role in as a logistics officer, and I spent some time perfecting my craft, learning all the various aspects of the supply chain, the logistics side, the warehouse side, and all that. Then from there, I moved on to downstream oil and gas, where I worked with Cardinal Petroleum first, and then Petrobras, in operations, and then in general management. It's still a lot to do in terms of supply chain. So after about, I think, 6-7 years of having enough of oil and gas downstream, of course, I moved to global tire manufacturing giant, Continental Tires. It's a German company, and I was there as their sales operations manager. And I was in charge of the fuel logistics and supply chain, from the manufacturing side to the customer side. So I was in charge of West and Central Africa. I had a team that we worked with in terms of working on market demand, warehousing, and all that for the region. And that was, So I spent 4 years, and finally the company moved the operations back to South Africa. And so I had to join another company in Ghana, and I moved to Agric because I hadn't tasted Agric before. And with my current company, we are into agriculture. So we do agriculture inputs, we bring inputs, we sell it across the country. We also sell agricultural outputs, that's commodities, rice, maize, soya. So I'm in charge of the supply chain activities in terms of the warehousing, the distribution from the farm gates to our warehouses and then to our customers. So so that's about me on the professional side. On the personal side, I am married to a beautiful wife, and I have 3 lovely kids. I attend Action Chapel. So that's the little about me.
Thank you so much, Eric. You've taken us through your background and then your career journey. I have a question. In terms of your current career, is this what you've always dreamed of doing?
Interesting question. When we were kids, we all have these fancy dreams. Well, I want to be a pilot. I want to be a doctor. I want to be an astronaut. It was in that range, but it wasn't. Yes, pilots. Those were fancy occupations, doctors and that stuff. So I would say maybe that's what I wanted to be. Maybe travel to space or something. But that was a childhood dream.
My next question would be, what is a day in the life of a supply chain or logistics expert? What do you do? Simply put, what do you do as a supply chain or logistics expert?
It's an interesting question because I'm trying to see whether I usually have the same day anytime in a week. Maybe let's say maybe twice a week. The routine is similar. So let me start with that. So usually on a typical day for someone in logistics and supply chain, like mine, when I get to the office, in fact, even on my way to the office, I receive some calls about issues that need to be sorted out. But let me begin from when I get to the office. So when I get to the office, I usually check my mails to make sure that there's any outstanding from the previous day or anything to follow up for the day. So I do a quick check, maybe 5-10 minutes, and then I have a quick team meeting with my guys who are stationed around me. So we do a 15 to 20 minutes check every day to check on deliverables, what we have to do, what's pending, issues that we need to get assistance to do and all that. So that's that. And then after that, I get in touch with my warehouse managers in different locations. So I have a call through with each of them. And I think I have about 3 or 4 locations. So that takes me almost an hour to finish that. Then I get to the day's work. So the day's work is about warehousing issues, stock issues, distributions, where are our trucks, where are they getting to? Then maybe after midday, I also have time to engage my stakeholders, salespeople, manufacturing, to see where we come in, give them feedback, and also take feedback from them to also improve. Then after that, we just round up the day with activities. Or I sometimes I also do visit some of the warehouses around if there are issues to deal with. So that's mainly my typical day. That's a flexible day.
Okay, thank you very much. So from what I gather, you interface with a lot of teams, mainly the warehouse, mainly some people who also move your products from one place to another. That would be the logistics part. Yes, and then the sales part as well. So you do a lot of you need a lot of communication in your role. Okay. So the next step is to let our audience know what are the top skills you need. Maybe at least a minimum of 3 skills that you need to succeed in your role or in what you do.
So for the skills, what I would say is coming from an electrical engineering background, so for me, I pay attention to details. I'm into the numbers. So and it's you need to be someone who pays attention to details because you can't be in supply chain logistics without paying attention to details. A small error can move a product from tema to tamale. So you have to be careful, you have to be sure, and you have to be checking everything. So you have to be attentive to the details is key. Then the next thing I think you need to have is you have to be someone who has a very strong you have a strong ability to manage your time. Time management is key because with logistics and supply chain, there are a lot of things happening at the same time. So you need to be able to apportion and manage your time well so that you pay attention or you're able to um, help solve all these issues because you can't, other issues can't wait while you're solving other issues. So you need to apportion and manage your time quite well. Then the third one, as you quite said, is communication. We are dealing with so many people. We are dealing with internal stakeholders. We are dealing with external stakeholders. We are dealing with my own team members. So I need to communicate clearly and we need to always create channels where feedback is given. When there are issues, it's brought up quick so that we can escalate it and all that. So these three are my main key things. Time management, attention to details, and very excellent communication.
Thank you. What advice would you give to people on how to build these skills that they would need in their in your line of career? So for someone who's just starting, right? What advice would you give to them on how to build these skills?
So these skills, I think the later two I said, they are more of soft skills. So they are skills you are intentional about it if you want to learn it, and you learn it over time. You don't just get up and you are good at time management. You just don't get up and you are good at communication. You understand? So these are things you work on. You have to work on yourself. Let's say in terms, yeah, you can get some books to read about time management. You can get some books to read about communication, and then you speak to mentors. You speak to people who will guide and direct you. In terms of paying attention to details, sometimes we are fortunate maybe the courses we did. If yeah, it gives us the opportunity to be attentive to detail. Courses that involves let's say maths, but then it also doesn't really matter. I mean, in terms of even you didn't do maths, but you need to also make a conscious effort to pay attention, to be particular about things. Don't just push things over. Yeah. So that's the advice I can give. If you want to be in supply chain logistics, you need to learn these skills, these soft skills. Yes, there are technical aspects of it, but these soft skills will help you thrive well.
Okay, good point. If I just finished the university and I wanted to get a career in supply chain or logistics, are there any programs that you think I should partake in, first of all? And secondly, are there any courses that I can take just to make myself more a better candidate for a role in supply chain and logistics?
Okay. Thank you for that question. So for a start, even at the university level, they offer courses in logistics and supply chain. So for a start, you can even get to study logistics and supply chain in the university. I think initially it was the polytechnics that were offering HND courses in purchasing and supply. The polytechnics, which are now the technical universities. I don't know whether they still offer those courses, but that's a starting. Then now a lot of universities are now beginning to offer degree programs in logistics and supply. However, if you miss the boat, maybe like me, you do engineering or you do another course, and later you want to shift, they have the certificate and diploma courses that are also offered by some institutions, including universities, and that's the certificate in logistics and transport. There's also, I think, certificate in purchasing and supply. That's for purchasing guys. Yeah. So you can enroll in this. You do the certificate program, then you move on to do the diploma program, then you do the advanced diploma program, then you do a project, and then you become a chartered member. So these are also ways in which you can get into it.
So for people who have gotten to this point in the people who have gotten to this point of the video, right? Is there any advice you'd like to give to them? Just general advice on career, on supply chain, any advice I can give to them?
Okay, so my advice would be a general advice to the young people. In terms of work, we sometimes we want to build a career. Sometimes we don't really know what we want, so we are just trying something. But I think one rule of thumb that we should always have is we should always be diligent in what we are doing. As long as you are doing it, you need to put in your best and get it done. Learn not to give excuses for delaying work or not being able to do the work. Always ask for help when you need it, but make sure that whatever you find yourself doing, you do it and you do it well. It's important. It builds you, it builds your self-confidence, it builds your ability, even your perception people have about you. So it's important that whatever you find yourself doing, do it and do it well. That's the little I can say.
Great advice. Thank you so much, Eric, for coming on the show. So on our channel, we give the audience the opportunity to reach out to you if they have any questions, or put in the questions in the comment section, and then I will then facilitate the response for those questions. So it depends on you. I open for our audience to reach out to you personally and then get some information about maybe someone who wants to do supply chain or logistics, or you'd prefer that they put their questions in the comment section?
No, sure. It's okay. I can leave my email address so that they can get in touch. Yeah. If you have any questions, if you need any mentoring, sure.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Eric. They're super grateful. So, as you all know, we post content every Sunday on this channel, and in order for you not to miss out on any of the content that we post, click on the subscribe button and the notification icon and on the video, so that you will not miss out of any of our videos that we share on Sunday. And I'll also put in a description in the description section of the video, so that you get all the basic information that you want concerning Eric, and then there will be highlights on some of the areas of the videos also in the description section. So Eric, once again, we are so grateful for you joining us, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. Okay, thank you so much, and thank you once again. So bye for now.